guys? This is Team Ubermans right here. This is my friend Adrian right over here. He's going to be doing his deck profile on
Gauntlet Buster Dragon Eradicators.
Ooh, how long have you been playing Narcomics for?
Oh my god, since basically when Tempest Bolt came out.
Oh my god. Oh, that's set 14.
Yeah, I haven't been playing it as long as a lot of people, but I took Tempest Bolt to regionals and I finished, I think it was 12th.
Tempest Bolt's always been a really good card. A lot of people didn't like him when he first came out.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know how to build them because they were...
me, because I played Novas. Fuck that guy.
And I hated Adrian for that card because I played the Rebirth and he blew up my entire field once.
Yeah, you know,
I couldn't restand.
It has a lot of really good matchups. It matched up really well against Link Joker back then. And
oh, Link Joker cried.
Like that. Gold Paladins.
They still cry. What are you talking about?
Gold Paladins? Yeah, they really hit it. Unless you were James, that got really lucky with Garmore.
Yeah. But I will be doing a Tempest Bolt build also later when that's done. But for now, Gauntlet Buster, starting Vanguard. Linchu, still best starting Vanguard for Eradicators in the game.
One of the best starting Vanguards in this game.
Counterblast 1, Soul Charge, Destroyer 1 or less on the field. You destroy anybody starter that's useful for any deck. Alright, great ones. Obviously, 4 perfect guards.
The old ones.
Eradicator style. The thing is that...
You special Counterblast, right?
Well, not just that. It's not just a special Counterblast, but you'll see why I run them later. I run 3 Draco Kids. This is the limit break enabler for the deck. You don't need to run 4. You have a lot of draw power in this deck. You'll see that in a little while. So
Alright.
3 is plenty. 2 Shuki. Shuki states whenever you retire a unit at any point on their turn, he gets +3.
Oh, he's like Bruno.
Basically, he's a Bruno, but for killing shit. And he's a 7K.
Not bad.
It's pretty good. This is new, Assault Eradicator Saiki. Basically, his skill says, during your main phase, if I retire a front row unit, I can Soul Blast 1 unflip a damage. So, let's say Gauntlet Buster's on the field. Counterblast 2 for Gauntlet Buster, they only have front row. They have to kill a front row. Soul Blast 1, unflip 1. Oh look, I have an extra Counterblast for 1 more Gauntlet Buster. So if you have 3 face-up Counterblasts, you can do it twice instead of once.
And you can also build more so in case you draw into a whole bunch of the chickens.
Yep. Well, I don't run Rising Chicken in this deck, and you'll see why soon.
Ah, okay.
Lastly, 2 Eradicator OA. OA skill, whenever you write a grade 3 onto the Vanguard circle, you can soul charge him, which will get you soul for the last card you just saw, and retire a unit on the field, front row.
Not bad.
So, hello, look, main phase, front row, retire. There you go, there's your Soul Blast for 1.
Okay.
Alright, grade 2s. New unit, Twin Sword Eradicator Cookshack. His skill, once per turn, you can choose to play a skill. If you retire opponent's monster, you can use his skill. His skill says each player chooses a unit on the field and retires it.
Okay.
This combos well with the new critical trigger, which you'll see in a little while. But I run 3 because you don't need more than that. It's one of those things that once you get there, you're good.
Alright.
3 Zuitan, best right target for your grade 2 turn. He basically functions perfectly with Linchu. Okay, I hit, Soul Charge 1, unflip 1.
Yeah.
So I use Linchu's skill first, retire, then I Soul Charge 1, unflip. I paid nothing for Linchu and got to kill a unit.
Not bad.
Next, Double Gun Eradicator Hakushuo. He's basically grade 2 Shuki. Retire a unit, get +3. And lastly, Rochition.
Oh, that's really interesting because he works a lot better with the reverse.
He does work a lot better with reverse, but because there's so much retire in this deck, and you have to pay to retire, and also your strides don't retire until after they hit, or until you persona flip, he gets the power. So he's going to get +5 every time he retires something. I can make this guy 50 before I swing with him all of a sudden for no reason.
Wow.
Grade 3 lineup. Eradicator Ignition Dragon. Run 4 of them. He's your ideal first turn grade 3 ride.
Yeah, he is. Like a lot of break rides can come back now just because stride kind of like slowed down the game where you can like stride on a break ride and then when you draw the optimal grade 3 then you break ride and you can go from there.
Yeah, he functions the same way, especially with Dragonic Vanquisher, which will be another deck that we guys do later on in the future.
Because his GB2 skill is just like a Gauntlet Buster.
But yeah, Counterblast 1, retire 2 units on the field, give +10 to your Vanguard. Plain and simple. Main boss of the deck, Gauntlet Buster Dragon. I run 3. His skill is Counterblast 2 Eradicators, retire a unit. If I'm at Limit Break 4, if I have the Limit Break enabler on the field, +3 in a critical. So Break Ride, Counterblast 1. Oh look, I retired 2. He gets +6 16 and a critical. Use his skill, he gets another +3. It's 19 and a critical, swinging for 30 by himself.
That means you have to perfect guard this deuce.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's put it this way. Today I put an opponent from 1 to 7 with just him.
Ow. Ow. That's
And
mean.
Lastly, this guy's a staple in every Eradicator deck. 1 Draconic Descendant.
My question is, why 1? Like, I understand like a lot of people don't like him early game just because he doesn't do anything early game because your opponent's just gonna take the hit.
The problem with Descendant is a smart player will always take Descendant even if they're at 5.
Yeah.
So using him more, trying to get him off, the only way you can truly get him off is if you swing with a rear guard, they hit a trigger and give power to the Vanguard. So now you can swing with it without power. So now you have to get triggers in order to hit him and then use his skill and try and hit again. But his skill is Counterblast 1, pitch 3 Eradicators from your hand. If I do not hit you on this turn, I restand my Vanguard with +1 critical.
Yep, and his other skill where he can just gain power, right?
Yeah, his other skill is Counterblast 2 with Eradicator, he gets +5 till the end of the turn.
That's like a whatever skill. Like it's nice when you have the counterblast, but it's a really heavy counterblast deck.
Yes, this is really heavy Counterblast, but
At least you have more ways of unflipping damage. That really helps.
yes, that is really big. So now I'm going to go into the triggers first before I go into the strides. Triggers, new critical trigger is Capness. His skill is basically when I use my own skill to retire him,
Yeah.
like with the grade 2 that you saw earlier. Where is he? Right about... Oh, he's right here. There you go. So, let's say these are both on the field at the same time, and I break right into Gauntlet Buster. Counterblast 1, retire 2 units. I can use his skill to retire a 3rd unit, which gives Gauntlet Buster another power boost, and it retires this. When I retire this, this unit says when it hits the drop zone by one of my own effects, I check the top 3 cards for an Eradicator card. I put it into my hand, reveal it to the opponent, then take this trigger and put it into the deck and shuffle my deck.
Not bad. That's a really good trick. Quick question. Say if you use Cho-Oh skill to put him into your soul, and then you use the chicken, the soul blasters, and hit the drop zone. Does it go off?
It does not go off because it needs to be retired from your field.
Oh, okay.
It cannot be soul blasted. It cannot be anything else. That is why I do not run Cho-Oh in this deck, because Cho-Oh does not help this guy at all. So 4 critical triggers. Now
He works really well with Tempest Bolt.
So there, yes, he does. But we'll get into that later. So 4 of those critical triggers, you get free draw, and it goes back to the deck. The other thing that gives you free draw, the only non-Eradicator in the deck, 4 stand triggers. This stand trigger at GB1 is ridiculous. Whenever an opponent's rear guard is put into the drop zone, I can pay the cost, shuffle this back into my deck, unflip a damage, and draw a card. So basically, it's a stand trigger and a draw trigger when I retire. And I unflip a damage. Okay.
You don't lose this card. This card will immediately come back, and you get another card.
And let's say you draw it again. Okay, I just used Gauntlet Buster skill, but oh wait, I got to face-up damage again. Call it back on the field, do it again. Get another face-up damage
and
again.
draw some more cards. Like, you don't really minus at all. You actually plus because of the counterblast.
You plus, not only do you plus because you get a counterblast back, you plus because you're drawing another card that could help you win that turn, and you're plussing because you're minusing another unit on the opponent's field.
All right.
Plus, with the rotation play, if you blow up 5 units, rotation just got plus 25. That's 33. You put a 7K, an 8K behind it, that's 41.
All right.
And if you hit a stand trigger, there you go. You have rotation swinging again.
No problem.
4 draw triggers. Plain and simple. They don't do anything. They're just to make sure they're Eradicator.
I was just surprised they didn't play more stand triggers.
The reason I don't run more stand triggers is because I go through my deck so fast and I mill it out so hard without the other triggers. I feel like I'm running like 8 stand triggers because I send the stand trigger back over and over and over.
Good point. No, you have a point. You have a point. It's just like just in case like you just want to like have like an early game like a little mini rush.
Yeah. And grade 2 rush, I pulled that off today. I put somebody to 5 from 0 on a grade 2 rush.
Oh.
It was quite funny. But
4 heals because they're standard.
Yeah. 4 heals standard.
Now for the extra deck.
Now for the extra deck.
It's so weird to say that.
First things first, 2 Blizza. Blizza's really ridiculous right now in all decks, all builds.
It's a staple now.
It's a staple now at this point. It's better than Harmonics, better than Magnum. It's on par with Atmos, if not better. Counterblast 1, flip a G unit.
Yeah.
You get plus 5 for every G unit face up in your G zone.
Like the only deck like you don't see Blizza is probably just Dimensional Police.
Even then, you could run 1
Yeah.
in order to get to Die Earth faster.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I run 2 of that. I run 2 Zoras. Zora says, when I hit, retire a unit on your opponent's field and bind 2 units from their drop zone. So this guy fucks with Legion really hard.
And a lot of Kagero decks, like a lot of Kagero decks lose to this guy because they'll just bind the 2 overlords in their drop zone.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you got 2 overlords in there. Get rid of them. They're gone for the rest of the game. Don't need them. Legion deck. Oh, you got a bunch of heal triggers in there? Get rid of them. Now
This
you
deck
can't heal.
is so rude to Grand Blue. It's so hilarious.
Oh, this is definitely root to Grand Blue. Anything that Superior calls from the drop zone is done against this deck. It cannot win. And, of course, this douchebag, Conquest Dragon.
He's really good.
He's really good.
He makes all your rear guards really big.
Once per turn, flip Conquest Supreme, Dragon, Conquest Dragon. You retire a front row unit, and then your entire front row gets +5 for each open rear guard circle in the
So
front
if
row.
there's no front row they have, your entire front row gains
Another
10k.
plus 10k, which is why I run the rotations and the double guns, because now, oh look, I retired a unit, double guns 12, 22.
That's why I was asking, like, why weren't you playing more stands? Because since your rear guards get really big when you go into your big push, like with more stands, like having the more probability of hitting more stands. But I understand you only play 4.
But again, you don't run more stands only because you put the stands and the crits back
Yeah.
in so much. You don't need extra of them in order to win a game.
Yeah.
And Gauntlet Buster gives you 1 billion crits, so they're scared of that already. Now, if they're scared of big ass rear guards too, they're gonna be guarding the rear guards as well, and they're gonna just run out of cards really fast.
All right.
But you know, 4 of these guys, and there you go. So, if you guys like the video, hit it with a thumbs up. If you don't, hit it with a thumbs out. Team Ubermesh signing out.
Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate
No
it.
problem, man.